It's Sunday and it's December. Yes, that's right. It's the most wonderful time of the year. So time to make amends, tie up those loose ends and what? Finish what you started. Hello there, I'm Adrian Atkinson and you're tuned in to a Jamaica Magazine that is tailored with you in mind. So glad you could join us. We have a lot in store on the flip side of the break, so come back.
Flu season is here. Let's fight the flu with these tips. Stay up to date with recommended flu vaccines. Practice good hygiene, that is frequent hand washing and sanitizing, covering your mouth and nose when sneezing, and sanitizing frequently touched surfaces. You're also encouraged to eat a balanced diet, take vitamin and mineral supplements, stay hydrated, and stay away from persons displaying flu-like symptoms. Protect yourself this flu season.
On Get the Facts this week, we talk rebranding and expanding service offerings through the Heart NSTA Trust.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. Most Jamaicans will know Heart Trust as the island's main training and certification agency, but many of us will not know the name is an acronym for the Human Employment and Resource Training National Service Training Agency. That's the whole thing, Heart NSTA Trust. That's right. The Heart NSTA Trust is the new agency created through the merger of the Heart Trust, the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, the Apprenticeship Board, and the National Youth Service. This rebranded entity now offers expanded products and services aimed at delivering world-class human resources to meet the island's diverse manpower needs. Today we have the Trust's Managing Director, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, to share greater details on what this rebranding will entail. Dr. Ingleton, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Let's jump right into it. Why was it important for Heart to go through this merger? Foundation for Lifelong Learning, Apprenticeship Board, National Youth Service. Why?
What that has allowed is for, it's a unique opportunity for a comprehensive repackaging or streamlining of our program. So these were standalone entities, the NYS providing youth service, the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning focusing on older individuals who may not have advanced at a younger age in their academic careers in schools, their academic path in schools, and of course the Apprenticeship Board. And so this merger has allowed for a repackaging and a streamlining of the programs that we offer. So it's more than a training entity. Heart is now an economic driver and also an avenue for social development and professional advancement for young people. So we now have strategic partnerships. So we focus more on that, on lifelong learning, digital learning, entrepreneurial support. There are new and emerging skills that we're now training in and certifying individuals across the country in those areas that are needed for economic development. So that merger has provided us with that opportunity where in one space all of these programs could be rationalized and we could have more focus so that it can be that agency for economic growth and development.
You've given me a lot a while ago, but I want to jump off on economic growth. A lot of people see school as, I go to school, I do a thing, I move on. Not thinking in terms of the larger picture. So how are you seeing Heart NSTA driving economic growth?
Excellent question, as a lot of people don't necessarily see it like that. Heart provides the training that industry needs. So the work that we do, it's industry-led, it's based on the demands of industry.
And this training that you're mentioning, you promote this, so people are sensitized that these are needs and they may make different choices then?
Certainly, but even our curriculum and the way we develop those have to be signed off by industry. So the standards that industry articulates, those are the things that we do. We put in our programs to ensure that whatever it is that we're training a particular person in a particular training-based enterprise, is directly aligned to industry. And that is how we get the economic growth. Because those individuals that the Heart Trust is producing are doing exactly what industry needs us to do.
So, Doc, let's say it straight then. You're saying are directly aligned with industry needs.
Yes.
That means that
as a matter of fact, our
people who are
research
trained get
indicates
jobs.
99% of our programs are
Yeah.
aligned to industry demands.
So that means that people who train at Heart NSTA can get jobs.
Certainly, definitely. And I would say the take-up for our graduates is over 85%.
Ooh,
And
nice.
so we're very, very proud of our industries in Jamaica, of our employers.
Yes.
They are recognizing the strength of Heart trainees. We had a challenge before where our trainees would have extraordinary technical skills. The technical competencies were at a very high level.
Right.
But there were challenges in terms of those personal, social, key transversal competencies that we refer to as employability skills.
Yes.
So having recognized that, we have changed the way we teach in our various institutions by not just appending the employability skills to the curriculum at the end of it, but more integrating it throughout the training so that we can have individuals who are more refined, more ready for work, understanding communication, handling difficult conversation. How do you dress? How do you attire yourself for work? How do you communicate with your supervisors?
Right.
Customer service,
Right.
leadership and problem solving skills. So our trainees are more prepared to advance in the world of work.
And that absolutely extends beyond the world of work into personal life. So catering for the whole person.
That is correct. Yes.
So you mentioned rebranding, and I can imagine that this merger has moved Heart's goals in certain directions. But talk to me about the rebranding that's going on.
It has definitely moved Heart's goals into various directions. Everything at the end of the day aligned to economic growth, personal advancement, because the individual that is trained, they have to see what is this training doing for me?
Right.
Certainly we can see what it's doing for the country, but they want to know, okay, how does this benefit me? And they're seeing that through avenues such as entrepreneurship. So we provide funding for individuals who want to set up businesses. We provide $1 million.
Probably should stress this now.
We provide funding for
Yeah.
individuals who want to set up businesses. So they're seeing that personal advancement. But that entrepreneurship that they'll set up, that business that they will set up, will help the country.
Right.
They will end up employing people. And so that's why we're seeing that growth.
Okay.
And we provide $1 million in inputs. And so if it is that there are individuals who want to start a business and they're struggling, once they send through that concept to Heart and we examine the concept, we help them through. We also help them with their business planning, with their marketing. We help them with registering their business.
Wait, do they have to be a Heart student?
No, they don't have to be Heart students.
Ah.
We focus on the entire Jamaica. It does not matter the age. We just graduated individuals who are 70 years old, 75 years old.
Nice.
Just across the month of November, there were individuals at that age graduating from Heart training.
Oh, that's lovely.
So that when we talk about lifelong learning, that is what we're talking about. Every single aspect of your life that may need to be enhanced, the Heart Trust has a program that can so facilitate.
I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm liking what I'm hearing. We're going to take a break right now. We're going to take a break. Please don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about the Heart's rebranding. We want to give you a bit more of the nitty-gritty of what's happening down at the Heart NSTA Trust. So please stay with us. Welcome back to Get the Facts. Heart NSTA has been giving Jamaicans the opportunity to learn skills that will allow them to enter the workforce and live a more fulfilling life. That's so important. But it's more than just a training organization. Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, Managing Director of Heart NSTA, is here to offer more information on the products and services offered by this training-based enterprise. Doc, we broke at the point of the rebranding.
Yes.
Right? A lot of changes happening at Heart NSTA.
A lot of changes.
Give us the inside track.
Well, just a little bit more on the rebranding. There has been a prevailing narrative that we would have suffered for years, and not just the Heart NSTA Trust, but other NTAs across the Caribbean and even the world. There's that stigma that has been attached to TVET as something that is lesser, as a lesser path than traditional academics. And we want to break that down.
TVET being technical and vocational education and training.
And you only do it because you could not advance in the traditional academic route.
Degree or
exactly. So we have to break that down, because it is the skills that we need to really drive this economy. It's a false dichotomy that we create when we pit both against each other. We need both of them in order to advance in this country.
And one person can do both.
And one person can do both. And every child should get the opportunity to see both in its fullest. And so even the way we offer our programs in our schools, from the primary level all the way to the tertiary level, TVET should be infused in the primary. It should be made explicit at secondary, and it should be specialized at tertiary. And once we start to do those changes, and even our parents to understand that the fact that your child wants to go the route of agriculture, it doesn't mean that it's a lesser path. I mean, when you look at all of the different jobs and industries around agriculture, it is amazing what we can do for a country in those areas. And so we offer a whole suite of programs. We offer skills training, work-based training, workplace upskilling, and institution-based training.
So a lot of the marketing right now is pushing TVET.
That is what it is doing. We have increased access, and so we have 7 training-based enterprises. And training-based enterprises are essentially institutions where you get the practical hands-on training, as well as you are being taught how to manage in a business. And so, for example, we have our Salon 10, which is a beauty.
I've seen it.
You would have seen that.
Yes,
So we do all our hairdressing, or massage therapy, nail care, and it is our trainees that we have operating in that business. So when you step into Salon 10, your hair is being done by a trainee, your nails are being done by a trainee. The trainees are understanding how is it that you manage a business in this environment, and so they're walking away graduating with the practical hands-on training, because that is the space in which they operate. And so this is the model that we have been advancing. This is the model that a lot of countries across the world want to get to, that they have not yet been at that place. We have the Cardiff Hall Hotel and Spa, and that is the training college for those individuals in the restaurant hospitality industry. So when you go down to St. Anne and you get your beautiful meal, that's prepared by trainees. All the individuals who are setting the table, the front desk operator, those are trainees.
They're earning while they do this?
Yes, they're earning while they do that, because we do provide the stipend. We do provide residential facilities for them to be in. And so when the employers are ready for them, they're at an extraordinarily high level.
And they know their value.
And they know their value. You know about Jagas, which is so perhaps a more popular training-based enterprise. So that's the auto clinic for the trusts. And so that is where we do all of those mechanic services at a very high level. And we would have had the Garmex Institute, that many individuals would know. We make our curtains, we do our cushions, and so much more. And so when our trainees leave the Heart NSTA Trust, as a matter of fact, I will tell you that they are recruited before they complete. They are being pursued for jobs long before they complete. But we have expanded our programs to include digitally based new and emerging skills that are coming on board, such as optoelectronics, mechatronics, geomatics, and geospatial technology. All of those things we would have partnered with the Amber Institute. So we have the Amber Heart Academy that offers coding. And when you hear those young coders speak about the different apps that they have been developing, they are ready to take over industry. As a matter of fact, a lot of them, when they leave, they're going into entrepreneurship. They're going to be creating their own companies, because they can find a solution for every problem in a workspace.
I want us to touch a little bit on the very practical things. How do I get started?
Okay, lovely. So we have 6 regions. So the trust is essentially modeled like the Ministry of Education in terms of its regional structure. So depending on where you are, Kingston would be Region 1, St. Thomas, Portland, that side would be Region 2. Every single region have what we call parish offices.
Okay.
And so you can simply walk into a parish office. You will get all the information that you need on a particular program. So that is if you are going to do a walk-in. If it is that you want to just sit and access online, we do have our Instagram page, which has a lot of followers.
Right.
We're also on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. So we're connecting with the young people right where they are. And we do have our website as well that you can access to get all of the information that you need. And if you need to call, it's a simple 876-99-HEART to get to us. 876-99-HEART. We offer career guidance and counseling, so we can speak with you and see what is it that you would most likely want to do. We can take you through psychometric testing so that you can have a better idea of what are the areas that you need to improve on and what are your areas of strength. We also give scholarships to individuals in the tertiary institutions who want to pursue a TVET path. Just about 2 weeks ago, we issued 162 scholarships to individuals who are in tertiary institutions. So it is an amazing place to be.
Just take the last few seconds of this interview and speak directly to our audience.
If it is that you want to change your career path, if it is that you want to learn a skill, the Heart NSTA Trust is here for you, and the programs are free up to level 4, up to the level of an associate degree. You may be a lawyer and you want to become a hotelier, you want to go into the restaurant industry, you want to go into beauty technician, you want to go into fashion technology. The Heart NSTA Trust has a program for you. We enroll approximately 130,000 individuals across any given year, and we certify over 50,000 of those individuals across any given year. This is the place to be. 7 training-based enterprises, 6 regions, over 80 community-based interventions, and 22 institutions.
Love to hear it, love to see it. Service, national growth, and, if I may add, holistic human development.
Thank you.
This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, Managing Director, Heart NSTA. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.
We are in the Yuletide season, which is one of the busiest periods. As you navigate the roadways, do so with an abundance of care. In this next feature, learn the correct steps to report a motor vehicle crash in the event you need to.
You know how they say accidents do happen, unexpectedly and often unintentionally. Though road safety experts no longer define these unfortunate incidents involving motor vehicles as accidents, they're certainly never intended. Unfavorable weather conditions, objects on the road, your miscalculation while driving, or another driver can cause crashes, even for the best defensive drivers. That's exactly why it's important to know how to respond in these situations. So, what do you do at that exact moment? What should be your next steps? And when and how should you file a police report?
For the number of reports that come to this station, perhaps it's on a basis of about 10 to 15 per day. That's the number of accidents per day. So after a road traffic accident, person should first try to clear the roadway if they're obstructing the traffic for other motorists. Secondly, drivers are expected to exchange vehicle documents and the document should include their registration certificate, certificate of fitness, insurance certificate, and your driver's license information. Those are the essential 4 pieces of information that should be provided to both parties after an accident. Contact information is optional, but you have cases where a person tries to settle outside insurance, and that's now a civil matter. It's an agreement between both parties. So if they want to exchange contact information, that's also optional, depending on the intention that they have in terms of fixing the vehicle outside insurance or what.
Your next step? Making a police report about the collision. This is always a good idea. That way you have proof of exactly what happened and the scope of any injuries.
In terms of our approach as police officers for a motor vehicle accident, first, the critical thing is to check for injuries, make sure that persons are okay. If there's a need for persons to be assisted to the hospital for any sort of treatment, we should make sure we render assistance to persons in need of that care first. Secondly, we check for the damage for the vehicles, make sure there is no obstruction along the roadway, and then we can treat with the document or the exchange of particulars between both parties. After making a report of a motor vehicle accident, the next step that persons are advised to do is to make a report to their insurance company, and that's for another motorist. As it relates to a pedestrian persons who are injured, they are also advised to get the assistance of an attorney to file a personal injury claim against the party that is liable in the accident. For follow-up visits, what we do, we have cases where persons are seriously injured, some of which are not able to make it to the station to give a report in the first instance. So what we try to do, whether the persons are hospitalized, we ensure that visits are made and that the person's conditions are updated as we go along. As we through the investigation, we ensure that the person's conditions are updated along the procedure.
But are you always required to report traffic collisions?
Not in all cases a report must be filed for accidents. We have situations where it could be a very minor mishap. For example, someone could be reversing from their garage, they could bump their gate. So in those cases, it's not necessary for them to make a report. But for other situations involving another motorist, or a case where a pedestrian or a property is damaged, a report is expected to be made because persons at times are expected to make claims, whether from their insurance company or their attorneys, based on the damage received or the injuries they've sustained.
Reports from the Road Safety Unit shows that up to April 26, 139 lives have been cut short because of road crashes this year, with over 100 of those being males. And for the corresponding period last year, 136 lives were lost in road crashes. On a more global level, studies from the World Health Organization (WHO) show that approximately 1.35 million people die each year as a result of road traffic crashes, and 3% of most countries' gross domestic product is spent on road traffic crashes.
The most common cause of motor vehicle accidents, from my understanding, it's mostly impatience on the part of some of the drivers and lack of knowledge as to how the roadways should be used. And I also believe the implementation of traffic signs at various areas would also aid the process, because most drivers are not aware of what to do at various parts of the roadway.
In the face of such figures, even the most careful driver can suddenly encounter a bit of bad fortune on the road. You know that saying, decisions can be like car accidents, sudden and full of consequences. So how about making the right decision to be responsible road users today?
It is clear that some Jamaicans, have chosen to live in areas which are dangerous to live in, because those areas are susceptible to weather events. People have chosen to live on hillsides that are precarious. People have chosen to live very close to river banks, and some even build in river courses. We have quite a number of communities that are perched precariously again on gully banks. We give God thanks every day that when we have these major weather events, we have not seen any significant loss of life or damage. But I would say that it may not always be the case, and I would use this opportunity to urge Jamaicans that we understand the issues of settlement, we understand the issues of housing and where you can find marginal land to live on and so forth, but you should, in seeking to settle, in seeking to live, to find a place to live, take into consideration the environmental issues and the climate change issues, particularly the environmental issues having to do with your access to water, with the stability of the slope. If you have to clear the land, how will that affect the stability of the slope? And then pay attention to the climate change issues. You're going to have frequent weather events, and what we notice about these frequent weather events is that they are of high intensity. So normally we would have a 50-year weather event, but we're now having these 50-year weather events once every 2 years. And if that is the case, then it is a creeping destruction of the infrastructure, and the probability of your house, which is built in a danger zone, being damaged. Government will try to respond, but the government will not be able to respond to everybody's needs all the time. So we have to be smart about it. Government has to enforce as well, has to put down its foot to say, listen, we understand the issues, but for your own safety, you just can't build in these areas anymore. We will have that conversation with the people and enforce the legislation that are in place, and maybe we would have to put in new legislation.
The government has spent a lot of time and a lot of resources in trying to improve road safety. It is the logic behind the new Road Traffic Act. It is the logic behind the new ticketing system. So yes, we are below last year in terms of road deaths. I think we're about 10 to 12%. But as we enter into the festive season, where we usually see an uptick based on heightened use, based on parties, based on other events, we must implore commuters out there to be safe on the roads, because though you may be speeding to your destination, you may also be speeding to your final destination. Look out for the children, look out for pedestrians. Let us try to keep it more than 10% below last year.
And just like that, we're signing out for today. But not to worry, you can rewatch this offering or other content like this by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. Do join us on this same station tomorrow as we bring another informative, educational, and entertaining package of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.